So it has been brought to my attention that not everybody has ever been shown or taught how to do dishes. So today we have a couple of dishes, mostly pans, in the crock pot, utensil holder, just a couple of things. There's plates and silverware in there. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how I do dishes. And the reason that I do the dishes the way I do is so that, one, I'm not wasting water. That's why you see the sink full of soapy water. Two, I'm doing them in a specific order so that your water doesn't get dirty before you get to the pans, because pans are usually the worst and they're the most greasy. So you don't want to wash your dishes in greasy water. So first thing I did was I scrubbed out the sinks, because you don't wash dishes in a dirty sink. And we have extremely hot water here. So when I run a sink of soapy water, I actually have to wait a little bit before I can put my hands in it, because otherwise it burns me. I like to use this little scrubby thing, and it's already got a little bit of soap on it. And I use this to make sure all the gunk gets off of it, off of the dishes. I wash all the flat surfaces first, which I have to see if I can't turn your hair. Scrub them all down. This is a cutting board, so of course it's got all kinds of little grooves and stuff in it. So you want to make sure you get it fully clean and there's no bacteria in the grooves and stuff. And I'll wash all of the dishes and little lids and stuff like that all at the same time. Some of the dirtier dishes I do let soak in the sink to make sure that the hot soapy water helps get all the yuck off, because you don't want to wash dishes and have them be dirty. So, plates. Then you'll see I'm washing both sides of every object. Wash it, get it all soapy. And I'm sticking it in the second sink because I'm going to rinse it all at the same time to save on water. Also help save on your water bill. And if you guys have ever seen my water insanity video, you know how much I can't stand wasting water. So there's the plates. Now I also have the silverware in here, so I'm going to do the silverware with the plates, and then I will put in the bowls and the cups. And with your silverware, you want to make sure you don't just wash the part that you eat off of. You want to wash the entire thing. Forks in between all the grooves. The handle. And the reason is because there are designs on our silverware. You don't want to grab a piece of clean silverware and feel gunk on it. So you wash it all. Everything gets washed. Now most people will tell you do not put knives in with soapy water. You do them separately. I would agree. Although when I do dishes, it's only me doing the dishes. Usually there's nobody even with but me and the animals. So I go ahead and put my knives in there too. Butter knives and steak knives, and whatever other kind of knives I have at the time that are dirty that need to be washed. me in my insanity. I call it insanity anyways. My insanity is we have two different kinds of butter knives. We have ones with this design and then ones with this design. The ones with this design are the ones that I actually use to scoop the wet cat food out of the container and put it on their plate, because I don't want to use this silverware that we eat off of for the cat food. So we have designated silverware for the animal's food. We do not have designated plates for the cats yet, because I just haven't simply went and got some. So the cats still eat off of our smaller plates. And then you rinse everything. So I'm going to see about turning you around and see if you can still see. No, not really. Okay. Well, anyways, when I rinse everything, I also rinse it individually. Front and back. All of the silverware, I crinkle together and run the water over it. Make sure it all gets rinsed. Knives go point down, silverware go point up. Every plate, just wash front and back. And in a minute, I'll show you how I organize them. Because our dish strainer is above the sink. Seems to be quite a handy little gizmo. On the cutting board, I rub my hand across it as it rinses. Make sure I got all the gunk off of it. Same way with the plates. We did drop chain, which is actually what I scrubbed some of the pans off with. It ended up dropping into the sink, so I stick it up here. Hopefully it won't drop again. And now, our strainer is designed with these little latches, so all the plates sit in there nicely and drip into the sink. This here, you'll see, has arches. That's for the smaller stuff and things like the dish strainer. It's actually got a little hook on it, so it hooks and drains, and that's where your bowls go. Cups go over there on those little hooks, and the silverware go in the box. This here is for all the little miscellaneous stuff. So now that we have the plates and the silverware done, now we're going to do the bowls and the cups, because the bowls go on the arch thing. So we don't have very many bowls and cups. As you can see, 1 cup, 3 bowls. After the bowls, then I will do the pans, and you always assess the pans. You want to wash the pans that are not as dirty. These ones, because they've been rinsed out. So I'll wash these pans before I wash this with grease and scrub that. So you always wash things according to how dirty they are. You wash the least dirty things first and the most dirty things last. So that's basically a quick rundown of how I wash my dishes. Now, because we have the handy dandy strainer, you can see it from further away, see even the big cutting boards. But because we have that, I just let everything sit there and air dry. I have other things to do, so I really don't have time to sit here and dry everything by hand. Although we do have handy dandy little dish towels that if there were too many dishes or I had the extra space, or excuse me, extra time, I would hand dry them and put them away as I'm drying them. Please stop, Kitty, I'm talking. So that's just a quick rundown of how I do the dishes. So, and that seems to be the simplest way. Again, you want to make sure that even your pans, you wash the insides and the outsides, the bottom and the handles. Your silverware, you wash everything. You wash the insides and the outsides, the bottoms, the whole 9 yards. You know, like I said, I use that little scrubber because it gets more of the stuff off. And that way I don't have to work so hard. So, that is how we do dishes. That's what we got for today. I will come back probably later on tonight or definitely on a different video, and I will explain to you when and why we do our laundry the way we do. Because right now it is daytime, but it's also fall, so in the daytime it still gets up in the 60s, 70s, sometimes even 80s. Like I think in 2 or 3 days they're calling for like 85 degrees again in the middle of October. Here in eastern Tennessee, you never know what the weather's going to be like. So I'm not doing laundry right now because it's still hot. You run the washer and dryer, you're going to create more heat. As you can hear, the air conditioner's on because our house is already at 77 degrees. And our house gets hot fast due to the weather, and we have shingles on our roof. So our whole interior house gets a lot warmer than it is outside. So those are just a couple of pointers. My sister So and I were talking, and so she was like, you need to do a video about that because I was never taught how to do dishes. I was like, okay, well, maybe not everybody's taught. Maybe people don't know. And I'm not saying the way that I do it is right. I'm not saying the way that I do it is wrong. I'm just saying this is the way that I do the dishes. So that's what I got for you so far. I will do a couple more of these videos similar. Let's see, on my to-do list, it is how to find a stud in the wall and to put a nail in or a screw in to hang something on the wall. Another one is she wants to know more about routines and schedules and how seasons change, so your schedules change. And then we'll talk about the great try-on. When we get into the scheduling and the seasons, I'll tell you about what I grew up and we called the great try-on. So with that, I'm going to let you go because I do have a couple other things to do and I have to finish the dishes. But I just want you to remember, you are somebody. You do matter. I love you. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and until then, we'll see you later. Ciao.